Hello, today we will be working on replacing the front display of this iPhone 4 Cdma version. Cdma means it does not take a SIM card, therefore there is no SIM card tray on the older version of the iPhone 4. The exception is the iPhone 4S and above. We will start first with the two pentalobe screws on the bottom of the phone. We'll take our pentalobe screwdriver, pull the two bottom screws, once the screws have been released, you will take the back and push upwards. The back has clips on it that lock in place when you slide the back up and down on the frame. And as always, make sure that your device is turned off, no power. Okay. At WDOA, we encourage people to try to lay the screws in the places where they pulled them from so that they can easily put them back where they go. First we start with the battery connector. One screw, and a battery connector clip. Now if you pull too hard on this clip, you can pull the battery connector right off the board. If that happens, it has to be resoldered back on, and it's an expensive job to do. It's a process, so you want to be very careful not to pull the connector off the board. I like to use my tweezers to pry the battery up. They do have some adhesive on the back of them, but not too much. Later model phones get a lot worse. I'll take the plastic battery tab. This pulls your battery out, which it never really does. It usually ends up breaking. Now we have our charging port flex cable. We have to remove the shield from the flex cable. Two screws. And the shield. Now using our plastic spudger, come in. You just want to grab the top of the cable to release it, and then you can take your spudger to release the glue from the cable. Fold the cable back over like so. This is your lower speaker assembly and your service cable connector. Pull the screw from the service cable connector. Use your tweezers very gently to remove that part, and use your tweezers again to get right under the tip of the service connector carefully to release it from the motherboard. There's two screws that hold in the bottom speaker assembly. The one on the right we pull all the way out. The one on the left I back it out enough to where I can slide the lower speaker assembly out of the casing, which is very basic and small. You have two connectors here which connect to your charging port, and that's how you get sound in the speaker. Okay. We have our upper shield, which protects your connectors for your volume control, your power, your headphone jack assembly, so on and so forth. There's a total of 5 screws in the shield, which is held in to the board, to the frame, by small clips. I take my tweezers, grab the bottom part of the shield here. You'll see a flanged metal piece. Make sure you get all of the screws. Down and up. We have our Wi-Fi connector cable, which is covered by another piece here. Here's the cable. I get right up under it, just pop it up. Now we have set screws. In the CDMA version of this phone there are 3 of them. Set screw is a screw that accepts another screw. Now we have we have 1 Phillips screw at the bottom of the board. Now we have all our connectors. At least the first connector, which is your volume flex connector. Your second connector, which is for your power on-off switch. The third, which is for your front-facing camera. Release the camera from the board. Your digitizer touchscreen sensor cable and your LCD cable. The camera slides right out. There's a piece of tape here. It's protective tape to make sure that there's no arcing in the phone. Peel that right up. I like to place them right on the pins on the bottom of the back. And you have one right in the corner here. Now, the motherboard should lift right out of its slot. I'm a little out of practice here. That's okay. Now the motherboard will lift right out of its slot. And take the motherboard and set it off to the side very gently. Front display is held in with 10 screws, 4 in the corner, 3 on one side, 3 on the other side. You can get 9 of these screws out, but the 10th one is behind the vibrator assembly. The vibrator assembly is very easy to pull off. You just get right up underneath it with your metal spudger. It's only placed in there with adhesive. We'll take our 4 corner screws out. I like to set those off to the side, off the back, so they don't mix up, because now you can see we have quite a few screws on the back. The screw sizes vary depending on which part you're working on, so you really don't want to get them mixed up. Sometimes the screws are in there pretty tight. If you're not careful, you can strip them out or strip out the tip of your screwdriver. So the 4 corner screws are released. Now we have our 6 side screws. These screws, I don't take them out all the way. I back them out about 1.5 turns. Because the display is held in with open-ended clips. Now the screen is ready to be detached from the frame of the phone. I like to refer to some phones as virgin phones. They've never been worked on before, and the way you can tell is by how hard it is to pull the screen up. Take my flat metal spudger, the smaller one with the nice thin edge on it, and slide it in between the frame of the phone and the screen. Sometimes you can get right in there, sometimes it's a little bit more difficult. And this, my friends, will be a virgin iPhone that has never been repaired for a screen. Slide my spudger up. Big mistake that a lot of people will make when doing this repair is they will clip the 2 cables for the digitizer and the LCD with a pair of scissors. Once you do that, you make the old display virtually useless and trash. But in this condition, this is money. We buy these. There's information on our website about how you can sell these displays to us. And that, my friends, is a complete teardown of the iPhone 4 CDMA version in preparation to receive a new LCD. When we will come back on our next video, we will show you how to put this LCD back into this frame, put this phone back together for a complete repair. Thank you and have a great day.